What is going on, guys? It's Fishwash, and today I'm going to be showing you a Devastator build that has helped me get to World Tier 14. I'm pretty close to World Tier 15, so yeah, it's a pretty good build, decent overall. Let's get started. So this build is focused on high firepower. There's going to be a status effect bleed that we're also going to throw in there, and along with that we're going to have a little bit of anomaly power. But the star of the show for this build is a mod called Anomaly Enhancement. Alright, so in my excitement, guys, I totally forgot to explain what Anomaly Enhancement does. All it does is it increases your firepower equal to 30% of your current anomaly power. So technically, the higher your base anomaly power is for your character, the more firepower buff your character will get. Now back to the video. The best way for me to explain this mod is to compare it with a weapon that is similar level and pretty close in terms of base firepower overall. And lucky for me, I actually have just that. So we have the lucky jinx right here, and I'm going to compare it to the thunderbird. So stats wise, firepower, of course the lucky jinx is a little lower by about 1,000 overall firepower. But what's important to take note here is that lucky jinx does not have this anomaly enhancement mod equipped. And the reason why that is a big difference is if we actually take a look at the thunderbird that I have selected, you guys can see that the firepower overall for this weapon is 43k, which is pretty big. The weapon damage bonus, as you guys can also see, is 108%. Now, if I equip the lucky jinx, watch how big the actual difference between these two weapons when it comes to their overall firepower. So we drop down all the way to 34k. And like I said, I understand that the lucky jinx base firepower is a little lower than that of the thunderbird, but to get a decrease of 9,000 is a lot. And that's all because the thunderbird has the anomaly enhancement mod equipped on this weapon. If you are creating a character with high firepower in mind, I think having anomaly enhancement on your guns is definitely something you guys should be looking at. It's definitely something I'm going to put on my pyromancer, my technomancer. It's just, I think, a way for you to increase firepower without really sacrificing that much. Yes, I know that you're taking up a mod slot right here on a legendary weapon, but the synergy between high firepower and a legendary weapon is just perfect. So why not go for it? The next big thing to highlight really is the fact that my armor pieces are focused on that bonus firepower. So 3 out of the 5 pieces I have on here are actually dedicated to increasing my firepower. The other 2 are anomaly power, and that's not a bad thing, especially because we do have the enhancement mod on our weapon here. So really increasing your anomaly power just increases my firepower overall anyways. But of course, I would prefer that all pieces here are high firepower weapons. So as soon as I find the correct pieces, the ones with the right rolls, I'll definitely be replacing these 2 with ones that suit this build a lot better. And lastly, I would like to point out that the skills I am using or utilizing are skills that allow me to inflict bleed on enemies. And some of you may be thinking, why do you care if enemies get bleed? Again, this is just an example of me taking advantage of a specific mod I have on my character. In this case, we're talking about Bloody Boost. This mod boosts your damage against enemies afflicted with bleed by 15%. So that just means anybody who has bleed on them will automatically gain a 15% damage increase on that enemy. But yeah, so that's the gist of the build overall. So we have high firepower weapons, or weapons that don't necessarily need to be the highest firepower overall, but because of the mods that we have on our character and because of the armor pieces that we have actually selected, we can manipulate these numbers in such a way that the firepower is almost double that of my weapon. Actually, in this case, it is double that of my weapon. So it's a very good way for you guys to utilize mods and utilize the armor pieces that you guys are collecting to enhance your character's overall stats. All right, so now enough talking. I'm actually going to demonstrate this build used in a monster hunt. Now, the monster hunt that we're actually going to be doing is called the Hunter's Split Tooth. Now, this is something you guys are going to see a lot on my channel. I'm actually utilizing this specific monster hunt to do my legendary and titanium farming. So make sure you check that out. It's a really good farm because I think it's a good way to just fill up your titanium. If you guys actually see my inventory, I have about 500 plus titanium at almost any given time. This farm takes about 5-10 minutes and you'll get 200-300 titanium depending on how much you get, because sometimes you get like 5, sometimes you get like 30, so it just really depends on the drop. Okay, enough talking, let's just get this going. Honestly, guys, of course you didn't hear me talking, and that's because the last time I recorded this, the Thunderbird was just so loud with the sound effects that everything I was saying was just getting cut off. So you guys pretty much saw that here and there I would use different abilities and different timing. So for example, I would actually use Golem at a time when I was kind of surrounded. The reason for that is I have a mod here that's called Bleeding Impulse. So anyone that is within a 10-meter radius when I have Golem activated gets the bleed inflicted onto them. That just allows me to take advantage of my perk Bloody Boost, because then I get a 15% damage increase on those enemies. So the reason why I like this build in general is it's taking advantage of the higher firepower and taking advantage of the fact that certain enemies, well, a lot of the enemies that I'm going to be firing and shooting at actually have bleed inflicted onto them. The more times I can inflict bleed on all the enemies, the quicker I'm actually able to clear the mob. You guys actually saw that I almost died there, and yeah, I panicked a little bit, but again, I was able to recover, and as soon as I had Golem at the appropriate time, I activated it and the entire group of little fucks just died almost instantly. And that's just because I'm taking advantage of all the perks and the mods that are available to my character. But that is it for me in this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that build. I'm going to be creating different builds, different types of stuff, because I'm definitely enjoying like creating different stuff. I'm gonna finish up maybe high firepower stuff first, because I'm curious to see how far I can push this. If I can push this to world tier 15 and even to expeditions, I'm just curious, like, hey, like if this is just gonna be a build that I'm gonna stick to for like the rest of the game. But that is gonna be it for me in this video, guys. Make sure you click that thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.